We done rear-ended somebody. It's all right though, kind of just a little fender bender. Broke a little bit of the grill here. Bumper got pushed up. Fortunately, my fancy schmancy headlights aren't broken. Well, that one, I took that one out because it was flopping down there, but nothing's broke on it. So left home at like 6:30 because I wanted to get here at 7 and get right to it. Now it's about 8:30. We're running a little bit behind, but we're gonna fire up the tractor, pray that nothing breaks today, and knock this hay down. Kind of have an iffy weather window, but we're getting kind of late in the season, and we still got some grass hay that needs to be made yet. So we got, I think, 3 days, maybe 4 days. We're gonna take care of this hay. You can kind of see some clouds off in the distance, but weatherman says that, you know, our area is clear, and where I live, there's a chance of rain. So let's shoot. I should probably unlock the door. Decided I would quickly flip the knives here because last time I was mowing, we were getting some really shaggy cuts. And it was pulling a lot of power on the tractor, and I started to mow this alfalfa here too, and it's just leaving some really shaggy stuff here. So yeah, decided we would flip the knives. It's definitely gonna make a better cut, hopefully. Got the hay tedded out, and I'm pretty pleased with how it looks. Using this tractor again because the Agco, not broken, it's just sitting down in the steer barn right now, and it doesn't have any diesel fuel in it. It has a little bit, but it's pretty much running on fumes. And I don't have any diesel in my truck tank. Just decided I'd hook it up to this guy right here. Since we still have a lot of dew on here this morning, I think I'm gonna run the tedder across it again, get it up off the ground, knock some of the dew off. We only have today and tomorrow yet. Decent weather. Tomorrow's supposed to be like really windy actually. Everything's fluffed out, spread out again. Still pretty wet, but we got the dew off of it. There is no dew sitting on here right now. It's just damp. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys a quick kind of rundown of how I do kind of quick baler maintenance before I bale. I always, and I mean always, grease my nodder every time I start baling. The first thing that I always do is I just kind of clean out some of the chaff. I don't have a nodder fan on these balers. It's an older baler. Nodder fan would certainly be awesome, but I'll clean some chaff out, and I go through and I make sure I clean off every nipple, and then we'll come through and we'll grease it real quick. You get the gist. You see how I'm doing it. The big thing with greasing the nodders, it doesn't take a lot of grease, and I should be using a hand pump. I just don't have one with me right now, and I've always just used my electric one there, and I can count the pumps. The nice thing about the hand pump is you can pump until you feel pressure. Once you feel pressure, that's when you stop. But I'm normally putting 1 or 2 pumps in each grease zerk. Some of them take a little bit more, but just making sure that I'm putting grease in kind of once I start seeing a little bit of grease come out, that's when I stop. It's not something that you need to pump tons and tons of grease in, because obviously it can't hold tons and tons of grease. After the nodder, there's a few other kind of grease zerks you can hit up. There's this one here. Mind me, I don't know the names of a lot of these things, but you got this grease zerk right here. There's down here on your needle arm thingamabob. There's one on the other side in the same spot. There is one right here, one right down in there, and then there's a couple back here on the thrower if you have a thrower. I don't hit all of them every time, but I do like to hit these right here where the rollers spin. Another important one is the needle latch down here. There's a grease zerk in there. I don't know if you can see it. Yep, right there. So make sure you hit that one as well. There's a couple up here as well. You don't have to hit these every time. And I honestly forget which one of these is like every 5,000 bales or something. So make sure you look at your manual. Another really important one is your plunger arm. So the grease zerk runs right here. and it runs all the way down to the bottom. Make sure you grease that because this thing is running constantly at high speeds. Now this is a slower stroke baler than some of the newer ones, so it's not running as fast, but still want to make sure that you're greasing that. Then we're gonna move up to the drive line. These are two important ones up here. You can tell this thing is loose. I have not greased that as much as I should, so that is my fault. I might have to replace something there. A couple along your drive line, hit your U-joints. Those are all important ones, and they're not hard to hit. Now keep in mind, guys, before you start commenting all these things like, oh, I'm not greasing that, I'm not greasing this, these are just the things that I quickly grease every time that I bale. This is not a full baler service. There are times throughout the season, and especially at the end of the season, when everything is done, that I go through the whole book, the whole list, and hit everything that needs to be greased. Give the thing a full service, a full winterization service. But this right here that I'm doing is just what I'm doing every single time I bale. So if I bale 300 bales, or if I bale 1,000 bales, or if I go through and bale 50 bales, these are kind of just some of the things that I'm doing every single time. If I bale 1,000 bales, some of these irks are going to take a lot more grease. If I bale 100 bales, some of them might take 1 or 2 pumps, but it's just something that I try to stay on top of as I'm baling to make sure that everything is running as smooth as it can. Pulling into the farm now, and everywhere around me is foggy and cloudy, but I said a little prayer on the way here. I was like, Lord, help me get this hay dry. And look, one little place where it ain't foggy and cloudy, and it's right over the farm. Woke up at my house this morning, and it was the thickest fog I've ever seen. Not really, but it was very heavy, thick fog. And I was like, great, this ain't gonna be good haymaking weather. I looked at 2 or 3 weather stations this morning. 2 of them are saying rain, good chance of rain around 5 or 6. AccuWeather is saying it's not going to be till 8. Either way, we need to have this baled probably around 5 or 6. I just picked up a couple bundles of twine, plastic twine, because we ain't using that junk sisal stuff anymore. I normally use the 170 knot strength, but they didn't have it, so we're going with 210. Hopefully it doesn't cause any issues. I don't think it will. It's just a little bit tougher string. Definitely a heavy dew this morning. I mean, that stuff's sopping wet. Well, the sun ain't coming out like I wanted it to, so we're gonna ted this stuff again. Got a really good breeze blowing, but I want to get it up off the ground. Stressful day. Now we wait. Got everything tedded out. I was tedding in 2nd gear, which is the fastest I've ever tedded in that thing. Got everything tedded out, fluffed out nicely. I learned that the tedder actually does a better job if it's going faster, so learned something new. But dew's burnt off, starting to get a little bit of a crunch. We got a really nice breeze. I don't know if you can kind of hear it on the camera, but a really nice breeze going, and the sun is shining bright. So I'm hoping that within the hour here, we can start raking this field, because this is the one that we did first. Rake is hooked up, but I'm gonna run down the house and just eat a quick kind of early lunch. It's 10:30 now, so I guess a brunch. Get some water, and that way I'm ready to go when I need to hit it hard. 12 acres raked in almost exactly 3 hours. So that's in 2nd gear in that tractor. I can do 4 acres an hour. That's pretty slow for some guys. I guess that's all right for me, but we're raked up. It's pretty good stuff. We should probably look at it here real quick before we jump in the baler, but rain's coming at 7. That's what AccuWeather says. It says a 75% chance. And Weather Channel, I think, is saying like 5 or 6, an 80% chance. But talk about a crunch. Plenty of crunch there. almost too dry to bale, but we gotta go. Big thing I want to check is how waxy the stems are, because that's where you can get stem moisture in there, and that one's dry. Here's some greener ones, a little bit waxy there. This one's curing, touch of waxiness there, but the leaves are super dry. We'll give it a twist test. It's honestly a touch tough. Since the field here right by the barn is the first one that I raked, it's probably going to be one of the last ones that I bale, or maybe the last one that I bale. Still really sunny, and we got really stiff breeze blowing, so I'm hoping that any waxiness and any more moisture that can be cured out can still dry out a little bit from the wind. If not, we've got the inoculant. It should still dry out and cure out in the stack. I just want to see what this outside round is testing before I go any farther. All right, that's acceptable moisture for alfalfa. I will take it. Now this was the sunny strip right here. That's acceptable moisture. Now these bales that just popped out of the thing here, they're going to be a lot higher. There was some pretty wet grass in here. That's too tough to poke. What's that one? That one's all right. I mean, 20% is the max that I really feel like doing. I have the inoculant bumped up. This was the really wet tree line. Still, it's under 25. You're so good at that. That's gold right there. Rain is a-coming. Will she fit? You got 6 inches here. Yeah, you should be good. Baler's a lot wider than it looks. Just gotta get it out of the rain. That is the name of the game right now. I do not like my baler getting wet. Many bearings and a lot of hay in there. Yeah. Yep. You're good. How in the heck? You got 2 inches. And just like that, everything is baled. And we got full wagon parked in there, the last wagon parked in there, and then my brother stacked half of that wagon, the rest we just chucked off. So we're waiting for a few guys to show up. It's just a lot easier when you have a little bit of help, and some people said they would help me out. So I'm not gonna make my job harder than it has to be. Big band of storms, it's all right. We need the rain. And we got the hay off. That's the last cutting of the year for this stuff. Probably not gonna cut that grass anymore. We just got one farm left of grass hay, and then we are done for the season. As you can tell by the presence of this morning's fog, got a lot of moisture hanging around right now. Yesterday, we finished baling at like 4:30, and at 5 o'clock, we just got absolutely hammered by a big storm. Dropped 6/10 of rain on us just in that storm alone. Then the sun kind of came out, and we were able to get all the hay unloaded. I actually don't know the number because I forgot to look at the counter, and the baler is currently out at the steer barn. We'll go get that later. But there's somewhere around the ballpark of 300 that we made. We just stacked it on top of some second cutting that was sitting here. I'd sold a big portion of it and some first cutting, so there was plenty of room to stack this in here. And then around 7:30, it started spitting, sprinkling and stuff. And at 9 o'clock, we got absolutely smacked again. I know where I live, we probably got at least an inch, maybe more of rain. So I think it's pretty close to the same amount here. But we got plenty of rain yesterday, so it's a good feeling to get the hay off the field. Really nice dry hay, and then as soon as it's done, you get a good shot of rain. We needed that rain. We were getting a little dry, not drought dry, but we were getting it to where we could probably use a rain. You saw in the video, there was a lot of dust flying, especially on that one hill when I was tedding and raking. So thankful for the rain and thankful for the dry hay.